Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Just before we get on with our show today, I'd like to talk to you about a product from our friends over at Cost Price Supplements, Australia's fastest growing online retailer exclusive to weight loss surgery patients. Protein Perfection, protein water, is a revolutionary new product. Forget proteins that don't mix, forget the unpleasant milky texture, and it's gluten-free. It instantly mixes with water and is designed to aid in protein uptake and daily water consumption. It was designed with the help from members of our own WLS community to ensure that it met the unique taste requirement of our valued community members. This product states its claim as one of the most comprehensive and unique protein products released to date, and it's made right here in Australia. Make sure you get some for yourself and use our code word WLSFamily to get 15% off store-wide. Not only does it cover Protein Perfection, it almost covers all the products in the store. Take advantage of this great deal for our listeners to get 15% off store-wide. That's not just for listeners in Australia. Cost Price Supplements ship all over the world, so if you're interested in any of their products and are not in Australia, no problem. Visit www.costpricesupplements.com.au and all you have to do is use the promo code WLSFamily and that will give you 15% off your entire shopping cart. And that excludes Optifast, samples, books, and Quest bars. Now, let's get on with the show. And welcome back, everyone, once again to Changing Our Ways, the podcast. And you know what? You know what we do, Chantel? You know what we do?
What?
We kill the stereotypes every single minute of every day.
We do.
We're going to have to start making up new stereotypes just so we can kill them. Because you know what? They're almost all gone. Well, maybe not. But that's what I feel like we do anyway. How are you?
I'm good. Not all heroes wear capes.
You mean just me?
No.
Oh, that's a bit orcs.
I'm good. I've had a really good week. A very tiresome week this week. Firstly, just thank you to everyone who's listened and sent me messages about me talking about my eating disorder. I really want to thank you guys for reaching out. I wasn't ready to post it on Instagram because there's a lot of judgmental people on there and I'm not ready to share that yet. But you guys have enabled me to start to come out of that closet now.
Yeah, which is good. But I mean, just in general, thanks to everyone out there for the continued support. The support's been amazing. It's awesome to hear all the great feedback. I don't think I've actually heard any negative feedback at all, which is really good. And
yeah,
look, I'm sure
too much.
Oh, apparently. Well, I'm sure we will get negative feedback along the way, and we encourage that because at the end of the day, this is supposed to be for the WLS community, and we want to share everything that comes to it. But, really, obviously, great response to our last episode with Alice. Everyone wanted to hear from her and really, enjoyed listening to that episode.
She's keen to come back too.
Yeah, and we will have her back. I'd love to have her back on as actually a guest host. So we'll certainly hear from her more, and we'll definitely get a lot more from her as well. Just some things to get into before we get into the show. One thing I wanted to mention is that there's actually the Aus Wide WLS Meetup is coming up in Noosa, and we're going, which is really exciting. So we're going to do some recording from there, hopefully get a couple of on-the-fly interviews, just ask some questions of everyone who's obviously happy to talk to us, of course. We don't want to pressure anyone who doesn't want to.
If you'd like to volunteer, though, send us a message because we'll track you down. We're going to be there. We've spoken to Sam, who's organising the whole event, and this is a way for us to get everyone involved, especially those that are interstate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So really looking forward to that Aus Wide Meetup. If you haven't got your tickets yet, make sure you do it by July 12th. What's the...
Aus Wide WLS Meetup on Instagram.
Yeah, so Aus, AUS. Wide.
Yeah, we'll put a link in.
Yeah, put a link on our Instagram for that. But yeah,
or
make
HBY Sam.
Yeah, HBY Sam. Yeah, that's who's organising. So, really good job, Sam. You're doing awesome there. Really can't wait to get up to Noosa as well to see everyone and get involved. But yeah, so for anyone who is going to be there, we're going to be there too, and we're going to bring a couple of bits of equipment so we can record hopefully some people who want to be on the show.
Get in your face.
Get in your face.
Let's get back to it.
Let's get back to what?
This podcast.
Well, that's what I was talking about. You rudely interrupted me. How dare you?
Deal with it. I'm your wife.
I am dealing with it. Go make me a sandwich.
I can't eat bread anymore.
Well, we'll get into that in a moment. But just another couple of things. Just make sure that you get across to our Instagram. Give us a follow, share our posts. Go to Facebook, share and like. YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like all the videos as well. Obviously, with YouTube, it's just a copy of the podcast that we've been sending out there for the moment. But soon we'll actually have some video content. Hopefully, that'll be something that we can announce in the near future. But yeah, just make sure you get across to all platforms and make sure you share it all out there so we can make it bigger and bigger.
I'm also going to do a change petition online.
A change petition?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the reason I want to do this is because I have asked for a goddamn shout-out music thing, and everyone's backing me up, and you said no.
You're not getting a theme song for your social shout-out. It's not happening. Now, if somebody wants to make a theme song for Chantel, please go ahead. I'm more than happy for you to make one for her. Doesn't mean it's going to actually get into the show.
You're so mean.
She's not getting a theme song. It's not happening. If you want to start a petition, maybe we'll think about it. But until there's some actual support behind you, some decent amount of people who actually want to hear a theme song for your social shout out, then fine, we'll think about it.
Make sure you comment on this and you make sure I get my theme song.
So before we get into it, tell us about your week. What's a story that you've loved from outside
my scales moved down. Yay!
Outside of WLS.
I was really sad to hear about the gentleman who passed away today from True Blood. I got tickets for a meet and greet to go see Katya, which I'm super excited about, and I'm taking Corinna with me, so Band to Bypass Journey. She's coming down to Melbourne and we get to meet Katya, so I'm super excited.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
You don't understand.
Yeah, I hope you have fun. But by the way, the actor's name you were talking about was Nelson Ellis, so passed away certainly too young at 39, and he was a great actor as well. For me, I'm a little bit outraged.
Why?
Well, you know me, I'm a massive sports fan. And I think some massive news for Australia. Look, I understand not everyone's a big sports fan out there, and it's not a true title, but Robert Whittaker won the interim middleweight title today, or interim UFC middleweight title. And it's the first Australian to win a UFC title, and I think it's massive. I think that should be front page worthy. Yet I go onto news.com.au and there's just a little story there. It's not really celebrated as much as what it should be. I go into Herald Sun, it's not even on the top part of the page. You have to go into the sport section to actually know it happened. So yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. So for all those sports fans out there, I just think it's a fantastic achievement. I love my fighting, my sport, and I love seeing Aussies do well. Bit proud that way, but really well done to him.
It was a good fight.
It was fantastic. I think he well deserved. But yeah, that was just my little gripe. But apart from that, just been loving all the reaction to our latest episodes. We're almost at 2,000 downloads.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's certainly grown bigger than what we expected it to be, and certainly Alice has helped get our message out there, and everyone following that episode it's really great to see. But yeah, we want to get more and more people on here. We want to see a lot more stories being shared. But what are we talking about today?
I can't eat bread anymore?
Are you reading like straight from the Instagram photo?
No, it's talking about the BS behind food.
Yeah, we had to get that guy to stand still for like 3 hours while we took all different kinds of photos.
You fucking Googled it.
Don't swear. That's not really nice.
I'm so sorry. That one slipped through.
I don't have a beeping noise that I can insert.
No, maybe you can do that when you get me my theme song.
You're not getting anyway. So yeah, today's episode is, as we've kind of went out to the community this week with it. It's more about what have you been told you can't eat, what was your impression of the food that you can't eat anymore? Also, what food do you miss, and what food do you love now that you didn't before? So, a lot of people, get told by different specialists, different doctors, different, so-called experts, but also people who have gone through the surgery before. When you might say to someone what your diet is, they might turn around and go, "Oh, what? You can't eat that. No, you can't do that. You can't have that ever again." One of the things that I got told was that I could never have soft drink again, or soda, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, any kind of fizzy drink, which I wasn't, I suppose, too upset with. We were drinking a lot of it at the time of our surgeries. Like, we were drinking a lot of Pepsi.
We were going for a slab in like 2 or 3 days.
I wouldn't say it was that short, but we were certainly going through a lot. And although I wasn't too upset, I was just like, wow, that's a bit extreme that you can never have a drink ever again. I mean, from my point of view, straight away, I was like, oh, okay, well, if I have to cut down, I have to cut down. Whatever's best for my health, whatever's best for my, future. But then I realized that was a massive overreaction from people. And what I found is that the good doctors you talk to and the good nutritionists you talk to, some might use shock to try and, get you to go down the right path. Generally, what they're trying to do is just tell you, eat better, drink better. Like we should have been doing throughout our whole lives before we needed this surgery. If it was due to eating poorly, but I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's just it's not the case that it has to be a death sentence for for the food.
Well, this is a discussion. Like, there shouldn't be any food that's taboo or you shouldn't be allowed to have. The surgery, to me, it's a tool. It's a tool for us to learn how to properly fuel our bodies.
Yeah, it's supposed to get you on the right path. I mean, certainly for me, I eat a lot better, but there's nothing that I can't eat that I ate before. Early on, I would say within the first 6 months at least, I struggled to eat anything greasy, which I'm glad, because I didn't really want to. But old habits die hard. And I remember the first soft drink I had, or the first Coke that I had after my surgery was maybe 3-4 months after my surgery. And I remember having a taste of it because I was like, I wonder what it'll taste like. Because I really wanted to take it, I really wanted to be strict with it. And then I just got curious. I wasn't craving it or anything like that. I just was curious. What's it going to taste like? Because I hear that things change, like your taste buds change after this surgery. And I remember taking a sip of it and just thinking, oh my God, I am drinking like there is a ball of sugar in my mouth. And like, technically that's what it was before, but it just tasted horrible. It tasted literally just like pure unrefined sugar, and I was eating it. And it was, that's the only way I can describe it. And it turned me off for a long time. And as I say, old habits die hard. I went back, tried it again. I just thought that later down the track, my taste buds would change, and now I can drink it. I can drink it like a normal everyday person who just wants a drink of soft drink, or drink a fizzy drink. I don't go nuts with it, but that's the idea. It's not to stop it forever. It's just to make sure that you're doing the right thing by your body. I drink juice more now. I drink a hell of a lot more water. And that's the biggest thing. I drink a hell of a lot more water. I try to eat a lot less greasy food. I try to eat a lot more food that I make myself. I know we do that a lot. We cook a lot. But yeah, I'm kind of sick and tired of the people who come out really hard, and you had that experience as well. People coming out really hard going, no, you can't do that. That's wrong. That's against the rules.
It's like, what are these rules you talk about? Is there like a golden script somewhere that I haven't seen? Like, everyone's friggin' different, and it annoys the crap out of me. It's like, don't come and dictate what I can and can't have.
Yeah.
I can only have a small amount. And if it's a treat, I'm going to enjoy it. Don't come telling me, oh, you should do this, you should do that. Might work for you, doesn't work for me.
Absolutely. And I understand even doctors and nutritionists coming out hard and going, no, you can't have this ever again.
There's a lady on Instagram who commented on one of our posts. Her name is Bon Appetit 88, and she said that she basically turned around and said, I've had a lot of people comment that I consume lots of artificial and processed products like whey protein, sugar-free stuff, cheese, and they'll be eating all natural food like beans and broccoli. But they don't understand that you have to eat a ton of beans or other natural source food to meet the protein requirements. You know, we can't absorb as much as we used to, so we have to be strategic in what we have now.
Yeah.
And I've learnt that myself by trying to survive on soybeans and broccoli. It doesn't work. I can't do it.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fair. Yeah, you've got to balance your diet. You've got to get the right amount of nutrients into your body. Always the number one thing is to have a healthy, balanced diet, of course. But it doesn't mean you can't have your little cravings every now and again. It's going to be hard to get rid of them altogether. It's going to be hard to go from doing one type of thing during, the diet that you did have, which wasn't necessarily a good diet, to going to being completely healthy, basically doing a 180, going from one diet to another. So, don't think it is the end. I actually had that experience before my surgery. I was like, wow, I'm never going to be able to have KFC again. I mean, which is not that bad. I mean, it's probably a good thing that I was thinking that way. But it's not the truth. Like, I mean, yes, 9 out of 10 times I should be eating a hell of a lot healthier. Or, not even 9, maybe even 49 out of 50 times even if we want to go that, that extreme. But I mean, I can't eat that much anyway. If I drive past a KFC and I'm hungry and I smell chips and I get a small chips and I can't even finish the bucket, there's not going to be that much harm. So yes, it's not the point. The point is not to go back to KFC for dinner and get it again and every day or every second day.
Having it as a treat.
It's a treat. Like, I mean, I'm using a bad example because KFC is a pretty hefty one. But what I'm saying is just fit your most favorite food and probably your most fattening food in with what I'm saying. It's not a death sentence. You can have it again. So don't think that it is the end. But the idea of this surgery is the most important thing to take. You are supposed to get better. You're supposed to use it as what Chantal said. It's a tool. It's a tool to get better. And you should explore cooking. You should explore making different things.
Mm-hmm.
We've done that heaps of times.
We usually do that on a Sunday. Sunday morning, we get up, we have walked to Woolworths, or depending on the weather, we'll drive around.
Fruit and veg store.
Yeah, and we already have like 3 or 4 meals that we're going to do. And when we get back, we're bang. And we've got all of our containers. They're all, portion controlled. We know how much is in them. It's more convenient to have it controlled so I don't have temptations. And then on days where I do want to have a treat, I know I can do it because I know that I haven't been doing it consistently.
And some of my favourite food now is my prepped lunches, the stuff that I cook, like the stuff that we do fresh. And I love freshly cooked food now. And I like not stuff that's fattening or anything like that, stuff that's actually quite healthy, especially considering what we used to eat. But that's some of my favorite food now. I mean, I love curries and things like that. Like, that's something for me. Like, before my surgery, I would never have touched a curry.
Why?
Mate, well, I was scared. Like, I mean, I never would have admitted that. But I was scared I wasn't going to like it. It's kind of like, I mean, how I spoke in an earlier episode about my mental side of my weight gain, or mental side of how I ate my food. I used to think that anything like that I hadn't had before is probably going to be healthy, and therefore I'm not going to like it. So that I would mentally prepare myself, and then if I did taste something, then I would automatically not like it. Once I had my surgery, the mental game changed. I wanted to try new food. I wanted to change my diet, and I've explored all kinds of different cultures. Indian, Malaysian, Thai, all this kind of different food I now love, and it's great that I've been able to explore that. And that is the whole point. The point is to use a tool to get better at the food that you eat and to try different things and to cook it yourself. Like, I can't explain to people enough. I love now to cook, and I think everyone should learn how to cook your own food. You just appreciate it more. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I love it when Chantal cooks for me more because I think her food's better than mine. But
no, and you also found out a couple of weeks ago that I hid eggplant in a lasagna. I used eggplant as lasagna sheets, and you had no idea, and you ate it.
No idea, and that's good because it means it's like, okay, well, it means I can have it again.
It's hiding it. It's like it's breaking that fear. And we did put a question out on Instagram this week just saying, what foods do you miss and what do you love now? And we had a really good response to it. Allergic to Sugar said, I think maybe I miss a big old steak and cheese pie with buttery pastry. She also said the bit I find the hardest is waiting 30 minutes to drink after eating.
Yeah, see, now that's a different thing as well because I don't do that. I drink while I eat, and that's a big no-no as well. But I suppose that's a different story. That's something that we should, probably discuss differently because it's not along the same lines. But it's a good point.
Yeah. The notorious VSG, she said, I miss chips and gravy. Oh, my God.
But
chips, cheese, and gravy.
I don't miss it. You know why?
And just anything that's a carb. Why?
Because we can have it.
I know, but you know me, I won't touch chips.
Yes, actually, that's a good point, and that's probably something you should talk about.
And you can fully back me on that. I do not eat chips.
Yeah. So and that's because Chantal does struggle with it, unless she actually ends up not a lot of the time, and not anymore.
3 weeks.
Yeah. So Shan used to, experience having to vomit, like even having to make herself sick because it would actually get stuck. So, Notorious VSG might be along the same lines. She might actually struggle with that now, and it's something that they can't actually handle anymore. So certainly don't begrudge people from not being able to eat certain food because of a medical issue now, or it does get stuck, or you're not able to process it right. That's fine. That's fair. I understand that. But to say that you can't have it because somebody told you can't have it, no, it's a myth.
Yeah. The Bachelorette, which is really cool because the Bachelorette, she's keto. She said KFC and love avocados and Brussels sprouts now. I know I'm not a sleever, so don't know if it applies to me, but I do miss non-keto things too. We did also say to her that we do welcome everyone to this podcast and discussion. It's
Absolutely.
not just for weight loss patients, and also it's so we can educate others so they're aware of what we struggle with. The stereotypes out there think that because we've had our stomachs cut and part of it removed, that does all the work for us,
or bypass as well, and
correct
banding and anyone. I mean, I really wanted to point out that yes, a majority of this is going to be about weight loss surgery, but we welcome everyone who's trying to do things to, lose weight. Even if you're trying to do it the old-fashioned way, we can learn from each other and we can share all of our stories. But going back to what she says, she misses it for a very different reason. She misses it because she's chosen a brand new diet.
Yeah.
But exploring new things opens
is cool.
up. Yeah, exactly. Exploring new things opens up so many different avenues with your food, and food's such an amazing thing. And we all fell in love with food before surgery or before our weight loss journeys, but we fell in love with it in an unhealthy way. And that's the point. This is why it's such a great tool to open your mind back up, to not restrict yourself anymore. It's a mental game, as we all know, but it's getting back onto the right path and what we should have been doing from the beginning. Treating ourselves every now and again, but sticking to some good, nutritious food, and not necessarily just pure veggies, for what some people think it is, or pure.
No, we're not
fruits
rabbits. We're not destined to be rabbits for the rest of our lives.
But we can be, a lot of vegetarians and a lot of vegans have some really delicious recipes as well. So
Patricia, who is the chunky vegan chick, we'll cover her in an episode moving forward, but she is one person who lifted me off the ground when I was struggling with any meats or anything, and she's like, here, use this. This is an alternative for protein. Use this. It's ground protein, and I was amazed with the stuff that you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. There's many different ways, and we can learn from all different sides of food. Absolutely.
So I'm just going to read a couple more comments and then we will move on. So a couple of other ones that I picked out because I thought it would relate with you, Grant. Minus 121, which is Sarah. She said, good question. Oh boy, I miss steak. A nice eye fillet with mashed potato and Diane sauce.
See, once again, I'm different. I can eat it. I'm a bit unique. Like I feel sorry for people who actually can't stomach that kind of food anymore. And it's not to say that you're not willing to try it, because that's two different things. There's people who are not willing to try it because they believe it's going to muck up their surgery, and then there's people who do try it but can't actually stomach it anymore. And I really do feel sorry for people that can't do that anymore. But for me, I can eat normally. Like, obviously, the amount of food that I can eat is different. I can only eat a certain amount of food, but I can eat anything that I did before. I
We've
don't.
had silly arguments though over this. Like,
When we're
I will
sharing
be
food.
honest, when we're sharing food, like especially if we go out and it's a pub and I'm already dreading ordering something and I have to share it with Grant, and I'm like, what do you want? And he's like, oh, I could do a steak or a parma, and I'm like, that is the worst two things you could possibly offer me. And
I've been more open though.
You
I've been
have.
more open lately, and certainly since learning that and understanding that I shouldn't overindulge, and also should open up to different foods. I've been a lot more open, I suppose, in my second year than I was in my first year. But yeah.
Zoe Poe VSG wrote, I don't miss anything because I still eat everything, but I do
Like
miss
me.
being able to finish it all, and I love sushi now.
Yeah,
I
so-
can't do sushi anymore.
Well, I mean, certainly that's the same as me. Like, I don't miss anything because I can eat everything. What I love now is all the food that I didn't eat before. So what I love now is being able to cook different things and explore, trying new tastes, things that I wasn't even game enough to try and do, over 2 years ago. And it was something that's what I love the most. Not a specific type of food. I mean, I suppose I mentioned curry before, but being able to explore and try different things, that's what I love the most. And I think that's the biggest tool the biggest thing I've been able to take away from my weight loss journey, for sure.
Yeah. Well, the last comment from this one, it's Together We Can VSG. Excuse me. She said, I'm very lucky, and now at 12 months I can eat anything. I avoid carbs and processed food and follow paleo/keto lifestyle. What I've noticed that I can eat a lot more suddenly after 12 months of struggling to eat. I'm fearful of putting weight on. I make right food choices 99% of the time, but the fear is real. She would love to hear what other experiences after 12 months people have had and how they managed. That is exactly where I am right now.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear more from people as well, like their experiences after 12 months. And that was like me. Once I hit that 12-month mark, I found that there was really nothing that I wanted to kind of hold back from. Understand people wanting to avoid carbs. Just realize carbs is a pure energy source. So, don't be afraid of it. But certainly, from Chantal's point of view, she now struggles to do a hell of a lot of carbs and tries to avoid it at all costs and tries to stick to protein, which is not bad.
It's not just that. It's more of a fear of carbs too, because I'm not using all of that energy. So that's why I'm petrified about putting weight on. Yeah,
and that's where you balance that by going and having a good exercise plan and making sure that, not necessarily going to the gym, but, doing it right. You're going to cough, are you, mate?
Oh my God, sorry.
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you interrupt me while I'm speaking?
I reckon you won't even edit that one out, will you?
No, we're going to leave that in. I want the people to know that you interrupted me.
I'd call you another word, but I've already been told off for swearing.
Chantal, tell us about bread.
I love bread. But there's only 2 types of bread I can eat.
Tell me about your experience from someone who told, very early on in your weight loss journey, what they told you about bread.
I'll never be able to have it ever again. I'll never be able to have pasta ever again, which I do struggle with pasta still.
But pasta is good.
Fresh pasta that you make, though, is good.
Yeah.
I was really upset because I have always been a savoury girl. Always. Sausage rolls, pastries, chips, bread, more bread. I could eat a loaf of bread in a day. There's also times where my parents will buy a loaf of bread and they come home and be like, where's the bread gone? And I would be like, I don't know. But deep down, I'd eaten it. I would make, maybe 4 sandwiches and go to bed with them and eat them in bed. It was always peanut butter sandwiches. I was horrified when someone told me, you will never be able to eat bread again. Because the first thing I thought of was one wedge of bread, toasted, with some butter on it. I mean, even when you go out to like bistros with families for dinners and stuff, I used to get so excited and be like, please have a bread roll. Please have a bread roll.
Yeah. And now people are telling, well, I would say that they're, veteran sleevers or veteran WLS people who try to dictate what the rest of the WLS community does. And we're not here to dictate. We're not here to say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about because I'm more experienced than you. It's like the common theme that I will always say to you guys, and I'm going to get really passionate about this because I'm sick and tired of people trying to, dictate when we've got too much dictatorship in the world as it is. The common theme that I will always have is that we are all different. Every single one of us handles food and handles drink and handles everything in our life differently. No matter who you are, no matter what you do in your life, you are different from the person next to you. There is no one person the same. And you can have people that are very similar. Of course, you can have common symptoms. You can have common things that, that we all experience. There's nothing wrong with that. That is what, science and medical journals, show the statistics of. But I'm honestly sick to death of people who try to say, what would you know? Or, you need to listen to me because I know. It's like, that's great. That's your journey. That's fantastic. What you should be saying is, well, this is what I experienced. This is something that you need to be aware of. Good luck. Try things, try different techniques, try different food, different drink, all that kind of stuff. Try different things with your food.
I know what you're saying, but I've seen people on social media, someone may put a picture up of maybe they just wanted a sandwich, right? It's not breaking the law, the bariatric law, to have a sandwich. As long as you've done everything that your surgeon and your dietitians tells you to do and you've passed those post-op stages, if you want a sandwich, go have one.
Yeah, exactly right.
I've seen someone come on last week, and I'm not naming names, but she's like, oh, you shouldn't be eating that. And I got so angry that I went on a rant about it because I'm sick and tired of these people filling people's heads because that's what happened to me.
They're filling them with doom and gloom. They're almost setting them up for failure before they even start because some people might get turned off. What about people who, we've got a lot of followers on here as well. We're getting some really nice messages from people who are just about to go through surgery, or they may be changing from a band to a sleeve, or, going to a bypass, or maybe even just thinking about the surgery. You don't want people to get scared off. Like if they feel that this is the best thing for them, then good on them. We've seen there's a lot of success. And I think to actually go onto forums or to go onto Facebook and all the groups or comment and actually put some negativity into people's heads by going, oh no, you're stupid for thinking that you can eat that again, or stupid for even contemplating.
Oh, you've ruined your sleeve.
You've ruined your
stretched
sleeve.
It. Oh, yeah. Are you serious? I had a sip of post-op, the lemonade at the pub, whatever it's called.
Yeah, soft drink or fizz drink.
Apparently.
Oh, you mean post mix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've stretched my stomach now. Oh, okay. Well, that must be the 50th time someone's told me that.
Yeah. It's so crazy. And this is why, once again, we will always tell you a disclaimer that we are not medical experts. And I'll obviously talk a bit more of that later. But please, anyone who's thinking about putting a negative comment out there, keep it to yourself. Give advice.
Let them figure it out.
Well, yeah, give advice. I encourage you all to think about how you are approaching it. If you get frustrated with someone because you weren't able to eat that, if you get frustrated with someone because you were told that you can't have it, don't take it out on them. Don't actually make them feel like shit just because you couldn't do what you wanted to do. Everybody is different. I don't know how many times I'll have to say it. I'll have to say it probably 1,000 more times, and that is fine because I'll keep along that path. For anyone who's seeing those comments and rethinking their path, just remember you should be following the instructions of your nutritionist and your surgeon and your general practitioner, okay? We are here for advice. We are not here to tell you what to do, apart from I guess we're kind of telling them what to do now by not listening to people, aren't we?
Pretty much.
Oops.
You need to calm down, sir. But while we're on this subject, I have a subcategory I put down saying alternatives.
Yes.
Now, I've seen a lot of people that can eat stuff that I can't, and it does upset me because I would love to be able to eat it, but my restriction is so tight, especially after the fact that I've been purging and I have been throwing up. My stomach has gotten smaller and smaller.
But you don't get upset at them, do you?
No, I don't.
You just get upset at the fact.
I get upset at the fact that I can't have it. So I've had to come up with alternatives. Like, I saw someone with a big bowl of spaghetti and meatballs, and I got upset because I've been trying to find this frigging, what is it called, angel hair pasta, and I can't find it. Do you know what? I substituted it and had zoodles at work.
Yeah.
Did taste the same, but it was nearly there. I still got that meaty bolognese flavour that I wanted.
Yep.
We've done cauliflower rice.
Yep.
Instead of normal rice. We can't eat the tortillas. We find them very hard. I find them very hard.
Just the normal tortillas.
Just the normal tortillas.
Yeah. For
For
tacos
like
and
Mexican
stuff.
night. We use wonton wrappers.
Yeah.
We put them in muffin trays and we put them in the oven for 20 minutes and they come out all crispy. Whack some mince in there. Whoa, there's a taco.
Yep,
I
mini
have
tacos.
They're perfect. I have one and I'm done. And credit to Tip Top for those sandwich thins.
Yeah.
Because they are amazing for bariatric people.
Yeah. So if you haven't tried them, you certainly should get down to where they sell them. They sell them at
Woolies and Coles.
Yeah. So for all the non-Australian listeners, I'm not too sure where you'd find them, but you probably have more alternatives than Australia anyway. But yeah, the really thin pieces of bread that we just generally toast them.
Yeah, and look, there are some days where I'm like, you know what, I just want a piece of toast. If I don't get sourdough, which I have no problem with, any other bread like, I don't know, what is it, Sunblessed and all the normal supermarket ones, I can't eat those. I struggle a lot with those. Baker's Delight have one loaf of bread that we've managed to find and it goes down a treat and it's the
high fiber, low GI.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so light.
It's really popular too.
It's really light. It goes down a treat and it's perfect for toasting.
Now, I'm sure there's going to be people out there that are going to be saying, oh my God, I can't believe they're talking about bread like this. How can they do it? Oh my God. Honestly,
I have one piece.
Baby steps, guys. Really, it's baby steps, and it's just finding what you can and can't tolerate. And if you can't, I mean, unfortunately, that might be just the way it is. But it's it's baby steps to find what is best for you. Try all different things. Try different methods. As Shane said there, you just got to, I suppose, get creative. It's not. I get a little bit frustrated at people saying that, oh, I've got no alternative. There's heaps of alternatives out there, and I'm no chef. That's for sure. I just try different things. I explore. I
recently started eating tofu.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it, and I've been using mushrooms as like a meat as well. Because I struggle with red meat.
Yeah, we're no geniuses. We just look it up and we just Google it. We just Google
what is an alternative to put in this recipe, and I'll usually go with like Grant can eat the meat one, but I'll take some of the sauce out, and I'll be like, okay, I want to make mine a vegetarian style so I know I can eat it. Yeah.
So, there's nothing wrong with trying, something different. But, certainly give it a go. Don't be afraid to put different things out there.
So, tips for eating. One thing I was told, because we're going to go back to talking about eating and then drinking at the same time. I try and avoid doing it.
Yeah.
But I miss it because I used to have a big glass of soda with my dinner, and I try and really restrict. If I have a drink, I will sip it. Like just
you're talking about Pepsi, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you don't want soda water. Ugh.
Nah. I got told best tip was to chew 20 times, which can be sometimes hard depending on what you're eating. Wait 30 seconds between each mouthful. And that's something that's stuck in my head, and that's what I try and do.
Certainly get full quicker.
Well, it's like, when do you know if you're full? And then there's always that moment where there's like one little bit left on your plate and you're like, oh, and then you're like, oh, just do it. And then next minute I'm in the toilet.
That's why sharing food's best.
Mm-hmm.
If you can share food, of course. I mean, sometimes we can't, but that's, always preparing your food in portion size. Cost Price Supplements has that has the plate, don't they?
Yeah, the section
the portion plate.
Yeah.
Check it out, guys. I mean, I'm certainly not trying to shove Cost Price Supplements down your throat, but they do have a measuring plate, a portion
plate, portion perfection.
Yeah, so certainly check that out on the website because they're really cool. I think we were going to consider getting one as well. I know a few people have got the bariatric bottles, the water bottles. They've been really cool as well. But yeah, certainly check that out.
I was really upset because they're selling them for like, how much are they? $20? With the funnel?
Bottles?
Yeah.
The water bottles? No, they're cheaper than that.
Oh, well, I paid $30 for my Michelle Bridges one and I'm pretty upset.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, well, Michelle Bridges being a top brand, of course. But yeah, you were saying about eating and drinking at the same time? Are you right, mate? You're just throwing stuff around? Yeah. What do you think this is?
It's a noisy one today. A lot of people say, and there has been videos on why you shouldn't drink while you eat because your stomach is like a sieve and it's just going to push everything through and your body needs to absorb those nutrients and vitamins and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And you're pushing it through.
Yep.
So...
Okay. Yeah, and I'll agree that I'm not the poster child for doing that. I'm not really good at it at all. I'll admit I drink at the same time as eating. I'm not good for that, so don't follow my lead. I actually agree that you shouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm. I also pour water on my plate to stop me from eating.
Oh, when you're done, so you don't keep going.
Keep picking at it.
Yeah, you just get sick. That's an interesting one. But yeah, certainly. Try to eat and then drink separately. For me, I do like I always have. I drink and eat at the same time, and that's just a habit that I really need to try and get away from. Not too sure if I ever will, but yeah, that's my burden to bear, and something that I'll never encourage people to do. I think it's not the best thing you can do for your body after sleep. Of course, I think you actually, generally, if you don't have weight loss surgery anyway, you shouldn't be doing it at the same time. I used to always find it weird when people had like a glass of water with their drink but didn't drink it. It's like MKR when you don't see Manu or Pete, they don't drink unless they get something that they really don't like the taste of. So I think it's come to that time. That's, of course, if Chantel's ready. I think it's time for your bloody... Social shout.
Social shout out.
Oh my god. This is why you're not getting a theme song.
No, this is why you should get me one because it's so terrible.
People, please just understand.
Anywho,
it's not going to happen.
Getting back to it. This week was hard for me to pick someone. And the reason it was hard is because I've had a few people that have really reached out to me this week. But not just this week. Like, I've noticed them over a few months now. And I'm very picky with who I follow. Because I only want positive, inspiring people in my life. So this week's social shout-out goes to James BSG Lifestyle.
Hey, Jimmy V.
Our friend across the pond.
Why did I call him Jimmy V?
I don't know.
Jimmy VSG, that's probably why.
So James started off at 348 pounds, which is 157 kilos. He's now 222 pounds and weighs 100.7 kilos.
Hey, that's pretty awesome.
He's amazing. I love him because of his videos that he does, his updates, his his selfie drops with his protein shakers. He has 5 beautiful children. I really admire him because he's adopted children and brought them into his family. He's really happily married. His wife recently had her gallbladder removed, so we're sending her well wishes for her recovery. And also thank you, James, just for your constant messages that you do send of support, not just to me but to everyone. The comments and the love that you have for the weight loss, community is amazing. Like, I love it when I get messages from you, and I love when you see commenting on other people's posts. You're certainly uplifting and inspiring yourself. And a big thank you for your constant dedication to enjoying and adapting to your new lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give him a round of applause, of course. Well done, James. It's good to hear, some really great stories coming out of the community, not from just Australia, but in America as well. We'd love to hear from all across the world. So if you have anyone that you want to recommend for Shan's social shout out, or just in general want us to talk about them. Yeah, nomination, or just in general, you want us to talk about their story, or even maybe someone you'd think that it'd be a good interview. If you want to get interviewed yourself, if you anything at all, just volunteer that.
I want Chris VSG UK.
Why?
Because I love his accent.
Really? That's it?
No, I find him incredibly inspiring, and his recent transformation photo kind of blew me away.
Yeah. No, yeah, but anybody we can get on and share a really good story with would be really awesome. Just another reminder that the Aus Wide Meetup is coming up. When's it coming up? Early August. August the 5th? Yeah. No. August the 5th. That's a Saturday.
Oh, yeah, because we fly up on the 4th.
We do. We fly up on the 4th, so we'll be meeting everyone down on the 5th. So if you're going to be there, please, send us a message and let us know whether you're happy to talk to us. We're going to talk more about Sam, about our role in the night, if we can actually help out, of course. But we'd certainly love to speak to as many people as we can there.
I'll probably have social anxiety, but just force yourself upon me and I'll be fine.
That's all right. She'll be the person you see cowering behind me as I'm walking around the room trying to talk to people. That'll be Chantal. But no,
I'm thinking about hiring a costume so I can hide.
Once she gets a couple of drinks in her, she'll be all right.
Woo!
But yeah, certainly if you are intending to go and you haven't got your ticket yet, make sure you go get your ticket. Ticket sales close on July the 12th.
Through Eventbrite. And you can find that through the Aus Wide WLS Meetup page, or send a message to HBYSAM. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a really good meetup, and I'm looking forward to meeting everyone that I haven't met already, and also catching up with people who we have already met, but just growing the community in general. I think more meetups like this is going to be really good. So the more stuff that we can get together and more people we can bring out of their shell, I think the better as well. In terms of us, once again, make sure you get to our Instagram page at Changing Our Ways PC.
Send me some nominations for people that you want to see shouted out. Someone that's done some hard work, maybe a bit of a blurb, why you admire them. Because I want to be able to share that. As I said, this isn't our show, it's your show. And if you've got a nomination and you want to put a social shout out to someone, send us a message, because we want to do that. Yeah. We think that everyone deserves to be recognised.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at Changing Our Ways PC. Share our stories. So if you feel that anybody would love to hear
Are you all right? Were you dying then?
No, I was kind of dying a little bit. If you'd like to share our stories with anybody, our podcast, recommend anyone, tag them along in our post. Just let's get more people into the community as much as we possibly can. Obviously go to Facebook as well. It's just Changing Our Ways on Facebook as well. It's facebook.com/Changing Our Ways PC. At the same time, like us, follow us on Facebook as well. And we've also set up a YouTube channel, which is also Changing Our Ways PC. So make sure you subscribe to that channel, give us a like, and get ready to see some video content hopefully in the near future.
I also just wanted to do a really, really quick spiel blurb thing before we do end this episode. For those that do know, for the past month and a bit, Cosmetic Tour did run a competition to win a $25,000 beauty makeover. I did enter. We find out the results on Wednesday. My fingers and toes and eyes and everything possible is crossed. Ultimately, whoever wins it, I just want to say congratulations to them, and I'm really happy that they get to have such an amazing reward and something that's going to change their life forever. I personally just want to say thank you to each and every single person, all 1,700 of you that went on there and voted for me.
Yeah, so fingers crossed that works out. I think certainly be some interesting results, but certainly there's a lot of people who, well, a lot of girls, really, it's the top 20 are all girls there, so they all deserve a bit of a
changing their life.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're all well and truly deserve the grand prize. But fingers crossed for Shannon. I think that'd be great. Just to end the show once again, just our standard disclaimer: we are not medically trained people. This is a opinion-based show only. If you do require medical advice, or if you're wanting to get a medical-based opinion, please see your GP or your surgeon or even your nutritionist, and they can recommend medical expert advice. It's not something to come on this show and to listen to us talk. We just casually talk about things, all kinds of different things that affect the WLS community, your weight loss surgery itself, and just your general life. It's all opinion based, guys. It's not something that you should take as expert advice when it comes to medical procedures. All right, and when it comes to your health and well-being, everyone, as I say, and I'll say it in every episode, everyone is different. So make sure that you don't take our opinion as the expert advice. We cannot implore you enough to speak to your doctor when it comes to getting that expert advice. But apart from that, I think we're done for today, Chantal. Anything else we need to say to the guys out there?
Well, not really. They're already doing what we want them to do. They're getting involved. They're commenting. Any suggestions, send us a message. We haven't actually planned the next episode yet, so if you want to get ahead of the game, send us a message and tell us what you want us to talk about. Yeah, if you want to get anything you want to get involved with this show in would be great. So we're looking to get more and more people on board. All right, guys. Well, that'll do us for another episode of Changing Our Ways. And until next time, this is us signing off. You are not getting a theme song.